Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it. Houston, welcome to another episode of the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. My name is Rudy Segura. Thank you for joining us again on another beautiful Monday night. If you're listening right now live on the stream, whether you're listening on the YouTube channel or X, Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, thanks for doing that. I know we'll have a couple people trickling in, but we're also joined by Cristian Putalia's brother. How are you?
Hello. Good, man. Good. I mean, better than you, right? But no, we're doing good. I mean, what can we say, right? We'll talk about it.
Yeah, you mentioned, man, I have been feeling under the weather the last, I guess, day and a half. Sorry, I get, I don't know if it's just me, but I get sick. I get really sick for like a day. And so I do my best of just chug a whole NyQuil bottle if I have to, and then I feel better the next day. But man, it was kicking my butt for sure this day and a half. And I was telling you guys before we started recording, you and Edson, who is in the background, pulling the strings today, that, man, I didn't sleep much. I still went to work. Did what I had to do slowly. And actually, I made myself go to the gym too. Like, I've been trying to go. And so good. I just went to just walk. I didn't even do my whole routine, but maybe that helped as well. But then I took a nice nap that I didn't even and you know what's funny? My wife scared the crap out of me because she was standing right next to me as I laid in bed with the kids, and I just opened my eyes and saw this figure, and I almost collapsed. And that was gonna be the end of Rudy Segura right there.
No more host.
No more host, man. But no, we're here. I know my voice is not at 100%. I have a feeling that I'm gonna have big rants for some of the things that happen. So my voice is definitely gonna suffer even more, man. But we were waiting for Joey. See if Joey jumps on here. Did he mention anything about? All right. But yeah, no, it's one of those that you felt the Dynamo doing better, they played midweek. Got a very good result in the US Open Cup, and we'll touch on that a little bit. And then you go into this weekend match against Seattle, big celebration, right? Alumni everywhere and everything that has to do with a big party. And Seattle, the referees, party crashers, right? So I don't know, man. It is what it is. But Chris, if you want to tell the people how they can connect with us, man.
Yes, the website for everything and anything soccer related in Houston is going to be BayouCitySoccer.net. Don't forget to check us out over there. You can also check us out on social media on X, Twitter, Instagram. That's X and Twitter is always the same thing. X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere that Blue Sky, at Bayou City Soccer. That's going to be our handle on everything. So go check us out over there. Don't miss out on anything that Ugly Guppy is doing. If you need anything that is printed or, stuff for your business and stuff like that, go check those guys out. They always have really good prices and really good quality stuff. We can vouch for that. Elotes Bravos, don't forget, every time you go to the stadium, check out Elotes Bravos there at Shell Energy Stadium, and they're kind of expanding in their locations. I think they're also at Sabercast Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. So if you go watch those, go check those guys out as well. And the last one, but not least, we got soccer with 2 locations already in Houston, the biggest soccer stores in Houston. So for the parents, for the coaches, for the players, anybody that wants, even for the fashionistas, you just want a statement, jersey piece, then go get, now we're doing boots for in the summer. It's a trend. Go get some boots, man. Go show us some Predators, with your jeans or something.
That's funny. Yeah, it's one of those that, some people, they'll be rocking a shirt and you're like, oh, you're a fan of such and such. And they're like, what?
No,
I just thrifted this shirt, man. Yeah. Like, I just got it a good deal on it. I found it, But no, yeah. We had a big giveaway.
Mm.
Alongside We Got Soccer, we gave some tickets. Fortunately, the gift card didn't make it in time, but I have it, so I'm gonna get it to the winner, Jorge George, who won it. So we'll see. I think he said he really needed a Dynamo shirt because he was wearing an AC Milan jersey. So
There you go.
gotta hook him up so he can get a Houston Dynamo shirt, man. But yeah, I guess might as well get started with the Dynamo news so far this week, guys. We start off with the U.S. Open Cup again. Uh, I'm a big fan of the U.S. Open Cup. We talked a lot about this last week. This game here, Phoenix Rising. Um, well, we won't spend too much time on it. Just in the sense of there's it's an elimination matches, so it's one of those that it doesn't really matter in what the MLS or the league per se has to offer other than starts to getting a little bit tedious with the times since now the team is going to be playing basically every third day at this point, but they get a big win. They had to go all the way to extra time. I mean, the team that they fielded wasn't a bad one, but eventually you saw Linger go in, Jack McGlynn, Ponce, all these guys that had themselves a pretty good game, and unfortunately for them, they always seem to start very slow in the first half, it seems like, Chris. And I think
Mhm.
it was the same way. I talked to this with David since we were able to record after this match, and um the second half, whenever you saw a lot of the starters go in, it was basically like their first half, and extra times was the second period for them, and that's when they started clicking. Obviously, you saw a bunch of goals in that extra time period, but I would say that the guy with the best game was Kovalchik, man. I think Kovalchik was probably the best player for the team, and they win. They get to go against Austin FC on the 21st of May. So more games to add to the schedule, Chris.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but we can dive deep into it, into the game per se. I mean, I'm here for the questions, right? For the questions from the fans in the chat and everything like that. I don't know if we have any, but basically the question that I wanted to throw out there was, not if it's important, but how did the Dynamo play, right? And this competition, a lot of people on Twitter and and everywhere that people make their voice be heard in a way. They were talking about how the Dynamo wasn't playing up to par in this game. Going against a Phoenix Rising, who is now one of the best teams in the USL, who also is, kind of building something that don't have really good pieces. Their coach is new, players were out, players retired. Players are still coming into this team, and from injuries and stuff like that. And the Dynamo went up there and I mean, it was a tough game, as these games tend to be, elimination games, but they did tie 1-1 and they went all the way to extra time. Obviously, that's when all the starters came in, or second half at least, and all the goals came in. A lot of people were worried, I mean, I'll be one of the first people to say that this Dynamo, obviously, not that they're playing bad, it's just that they're not getting results, right? And that's the difference, right? Because you can play really, really good but not win. I mean, and then you can play really, really bad and win. So it's one of those things, right? So the question is, how are people worried that it kind of took that long to kind of beat a Phoenix Rising into extra time and all this unnecessary extra time, as some people would say? I mean, if it went to extra time, it went to extra time. It's not unnecessary. It just had to be done, right? But a lot of people, they're like, oh, we're an MLS team, we have to win. USL is not that great. We could argue that some teams are really good and could compete in the lower tier in the MLS, where the Dynamo is sitting at today. So yeah, the question is is that something to be worried about, or not really? Maybe you really could answer that in your perspective, and then have the people kind of answer it on the chat if they, or listening in their house or whatever.
I mean, yes, in the sense of it is worrying that you couldn't close out this game in 90 minutes. However, just the type of tournament this is. This is where the end quotes lower division teams tend to step up. I mean, you've seen even like third division teams like what is it, Union Omaha, go out and beat some of the big clubs in MLS, or just an MLS team in general. And so I think that this type of tournament, being single elimination, you just, do what you can. And it's not new as well for the Dynamo, because obviously last year they got eliminated by Detroit after being up, and then basically, making the comeback and winning in penalties. But even before that, other matches have always gone longer than expected just because of that. I think whenever you're a semi-pro, you want to be a professional, you want to be in the II, and if you get the opportunity to play a team of higher standards, or in this case, a first division team, then you're gonna go all out, right? And I think it's one of those that the MLS team may kind of be a little, I know it is, and Edson, you're right, is not semi-pro, we get it, but but yeah, no, it gets to the point that sometimes the level of the MLS player drops because they see it as like, it's easy, right? It's an easier team, and the opposite for the rival. They go above and beyond what they're supposed to be. I mean, they probably play their best game ever when they get the opportunities to play someone in a top tier. So no, I think not necessarily worse. I mean, it was nice to see them finally like put a bunch of goals in. Again, once they put in the heavy duty weapon, the arsenal, I guess they did what they needed to do. So that was definitely good to see, because it would have been worse if you put all these guys and you still stayed 1-1 and you had to go to penalties. So in a way, you kind of take it with and it didn't really translate to the weekend. So that's the only thing that kind of puts a big dent, because you would think like, oh man, they're in this high. Can they kind of continue it forward in the MLS? And granted, that was definitely more of a different topic that happened. But yeah, I did mention that obviously they are going to be playing at Austin next match. Chris, are you gonna be making it out there? I know probably.
I'm trying really hard to make it. I'm not that far off from Austin.
I looked it up, man. You're like 2 hours like stag, basically. So.
Yeah, and it took me 2 hours to get to the Dynamo Stadium like a couple weeks back. So it's literally a drive that I could probably make. So yeah, it's a hard maybe going into a yes. I just have to kind of plan out my week and see if the wife is okay with me leaving for the day. But yeah, most likely I'll be there. And we'll cover the match with the best we can. I think some of our guys are still going though. I think Aldo is gonna go, so we'll have some pictures for sure. And Manny maybe might be making it out, but yeah, it's a hard maybe, but it's gonna be a good game. Just because we just saw them. We're gonna see them again. This is an elimination match. They look a lot better, even though the Dynamo keep losing or not winning. Let's just say that. Well, not winning because they did.
Well, see, I think this is the first match with Austin that actually means something, and so I think that's gonna be good.
Like elimination,
overall. Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah. Well, but yeah, because I mean they haven't played in the playoffs. Yes, like you play in the regular season. And you get, win, draw, loss type of thing. But here is win or stay home in this case for Austin, really, right? Yeah. And so this here, if, everybody that cares about things like Copa Tejas, which certainly I don't, but the rivalry, if you want the rivalry to grow, these are the matches that can propel it to a different level. And you expect a good match in general, right?
No, and because I was thinking about talking about it, but I think it would be too ahead of us to start thinking about that because of the schedule that's coming out, right?
For sure.
So you got Minnesota, and then you go to Dallas,
right,
and then you go to Austin. So you got two, back to back, quote unquote derbies, if you want to call Austin a derby as well. But it even, I think, more than being a kind of interstate derby in a way, it's an elimination game, right?
Yeah.
It's an elimination game to a cup that, like I was explaining to one of my boys, Luis. Shout out to Luis. He says he watches or listens to the show. I was explaining to him how the U.S. Open Cup, if you go strong for 5-6 games tops, you could win a cup and you can go into an international cup, right? You can go to the CONCACAF Champions League or Champions Cup, whatever they call it now. And it's an opportunity to rub shoulders with the bigger teams. Obviously you have to build better teams, but also it gives you money, right? Because going into these competitions, you get some benefits of it, which is money comes in from these federations to the clubs to kind of help them build themselves up. So not only it's international reputation or continental reputation that you get, but also you get a little bit of money that could help in this providing of a third DP that they're talking about. Maybe having a slot for, or another U22, whatever it may be of this building that they're doing for the Dynamo that seems to never cease, right? Like they're always building it up. But yeah, back-to-back derbies is going to be very interesting. But yeah, I guess let's not get too ahead.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a really good match.
Yeah, no, let's not get too ahead. As you mentioned, there's Minnesota plays this Wednesday, and then on Saturday they go against FC Dallas. We'll unfortunately won't be able to talk too much about the Dallas game in general, just because you can't really skip too far into the future when they haven't even played Minnesota. But we are joined by Joey Chavala. Joe Chavala, how you been, man?
I am fantastic.
All right, you ready? You got here at the perfect time. We already discussed a little bit of U.S. Open Cup, but at this point, we're gonna move straight into what the weekend. Yeah.
Let's get 30 seconds of Joy's thoughts on the U.S. Open Cup and the Dynamo's run. In
the U.S. Open Cup as a whole, or just the game?
Maybe give me 15 seconds on the game and then 15 seconds
right.
on the competition.
Okay, 15
or
seconds.
A minute. Take a minute. Take a minute.
Right. I mean, it was a really good first half performance. Second half performance was also, on the front foot. A lot of chances, chance after chance after chance. Couldn't put it away. Couldn't stick the knife in, as Ben said. Extra time, at that point, there was, as Ben said, there's only one winner. There was just so much pressure. They were going to score eventually. Unfortunately, it took the extra time, but they put the chances in. They scored some goals. Linger is a stud. McGlynn's a stud. Ponce is very good. And that's that for that game. Bring out Austin, and then as the Open Cup as a whole, it's one of those things. You're gonna play to win every game. If you end up getting to a point where you get a few wins, get a win or two, you see yourself in a quarterfinal. Then you start taking it super seriously. If you go on and win it, and it's a trophy, that's what it's all about. So I think it's a big deal. I'd put their best 11 out against Austin.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's what we needed.
That's
was that under a minute?
Yeah, probably. We'll give it to you.
That was pretty good. So yeah, let's go ahead and move into the Seattle Sounders match. Again, 3-1. The red card decision changed the game completely. I think that's easier or like super simple to mention. The lineup was a little different. We did get to see Steris. We kind of touched on this a little bit in our group, whether you play the new guy Felipe Andrade into what Escobar has been playing and kind of keep the same shape since he looked like he played very well midweek. But no, going with Steris, it shifted more to like a 3 center back formation, and overall, the players that are out there are not bad, right? You look at the lineup, that's from what we've seen this season, I think it's pretty dead on. Partlow, however, continues to not really impress. Obviously, Sviatchenko is a late scratch. Simi's once again being hit with the injury bug, but
I don't know if I'd say Bartlow was the problem in this game.
No, he wasn't. I'm just saying in the sense of, obviously we did get to actually at this point, Edson, I think the next slide says match highlights. So if you want to go ahead and hit the match highlights, we can just go ahead and get the popcorn ready and enjoy the highlights.
Should we close our eyes?
Oh man! Now this was such an interesting game, right?
It was a really good first half.
Very good first half.
Yeah,
Fun
I think
half.
it would have been very entertaining, not given the circumstances.
Yeah. No,
Man, if that fell on his left foot, he's scoring 9 out of 10 times.
Decent shot by McGlynn. Not the best clean shot. Minute 20. This I have no clue what was happening.
Brooklyn just kind of missed it, and then I don't know what Bartlow's doing right there.
It looked like it was some sort of deflection, right?
Yeah, it seems like it does hit Femi's foot.
Yeah,
it might, but Bartlow's marking's terrible. Brooklyn just misses the header.
That was a good cross.
It was a very good cross, but Bartlow should have been
dipped right into his foot.
Yeah,
it was a very good cross. I mean,
very good cross, but I think there is a little bit of deflection. If it's not, it's a perfect cross.
Yeah. Either way, Barlow just kind of got lost.
That was a bad shot.
Yeah, I like the effort though.
Yeah, I would have left it for McGlynn. I would just go ahead and give it.
Sometimes I like to let your DP get a shot on goal.
It was for a righty.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna shoot it, it's for a righty.
Here's the tying goal right here, right?
That's a beautiful cross. Oh my god, what a beautiful ball from Jack. It's prime Brad Davis stuff right there.
Yeah,
he was watching proudly.
Brad Davis was like
proud.
That was beautiful. That was like a little prime Brad Davis to Will Bruin.
Here he goes. This starts everything.
And
right there, I feel like it's a foul.
Yep, red card.
Bro, everybody's confused at this point.
Because it's like, okay, what? He gave a penalty and a red card, like nothing. Like, I mean, the guy didn't hesitate. But right there, to me, it also kind of feels like, it was very slight, but it could have been a foul on Seattle.
No, that would have been a soft foul.
That's what I'm saying, but that could be. And then. Okay, and so when we heard him, pause it right there, Edson. Whenever we heard him, we were on the group chat. Dustin didn't make it to the game, and he kept saying it's a penalty. You know, there's a pull on him. There's something like he kept saying that the guy that Femi pulled the shirt, and I'm like, I don't see it, bro.
No, it's the handball.
No, right, and we're like, I don't see it. It's not a red card. What are
Absolutely, it's a red card.
He doesn't touch the ball.
If you hand,
but deliberate, like
it doesn't matter. There's nothing in the law of the game about deliberate. Deliberate, nothing. There's nothing to do with deliberate in the laws of the game.
Can't believe they were okay. That's fine. I like it.
If you handball in a 1v1 through on goal, it's a red card. That's not a conversation. It's a red card. It's soft, but it's a red card.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you're last man, but it's
so. What's the argument? How's it not a red card? Then?
How's it?
If you foul someone and you're the last man, it's a red card. A handball's a foul. What's the argument? There's zero argument for why it's not a red card.
But he doesn't really touch that ball.
He does though. He absolutely does. How could you tell me he doesn't touch the ball?
That's the thing, right? Like,
gets his forearm.
Because I saw another video today. I don't know if you got to see it, Joey, but it's like from like a different angle, and at least in that video, the ball never touches his like almost his body entirely. So, and then also like just the referee, he was in position very well in a way to like.
Well, and that was another thing. He was seeing it from behind, so like I could see him seeing a handball as well, just from that angle. Because
it was a handball.
The Seattle players in front of him, like in front of Femi.
I'm gonna resend that video that I saw so you can see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this video had any more. Edson, let me see. Can you play it? See if there's any more replays. Okay, I didn't even look it up, but you can go. Okay, let me see. Let's see if it does it.
Right there, handball hits his forearm.
On the which arm, left or right?
I think it's his left hand.
Okay, here, Joey, I just tagged you on something. Take a second look at it.
Yeah, let's see. Let me see if they have any more replays. But okay, this is another thing it was my pet peeve here. Oh, man, but look,
he got bodied.
He got bodied, but he's not inside of the penalty box when he gets.
No, yeah.
touches it. And again, it's not like he. I understand there's a handball, but there's also is it ball to hand or hand to ball too? Like
it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
I guess
intent doesn't matter. His arms are in an unnatural position.
I guess what it matters is like what it does, right?
Absolutely a handball. Chris, what are you talking about? That video makes it even more obvious. That video makes it so obvious that you sent me. Can we share that somehow on the stream?
I'm gonna look at it again.
But anyways, to me, it was okay. If it is a what's it called? If it is a handball, as Joey you're mentioning, it's not a red card. It's not a red card.
Yes, it is.
No,
Rudy. If there's a foul and you're the last man, it doesn't matter if you kick him in the face. If you tap the ball with your finger, it's a red card.
Yeah, just because he's the last man. Yeah, it's just that. Just because he's the last man. Is the ultimate line of the last line of defense, quote unquote, for the goal. I mean it's a red for sure.
Edson, to bring up your question about the double jeopardy, if it's dog, so double jeopardy doesn't apply.
But I don't know. In that video, see, like to me, I saw that video again. I don't see it. I don't see him touching the ball with his hand. Look at his right arm.
What do you mean?
No, he doesn't.
I don't see it.
He absolutely touches it.
Left
right
arm,
there.
No,
it touches his right arm. On his right arm. On his
right arm. But
on his bicep. Right there. It absolutely touches his arm. How are you?
Yes, he does. Okay.
Right there. That's a handball.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay, I can see the right.
It's kind of hidden.
But my point is,
that's whack though. That's whack.
It's not whack.
Yes,
no,
it's
a soft. It's
a super soft call, dude. He's looking at the ball. He's trying to hit the ball. He misses the ball, and his hands are doing a natural movement of going forward, trying to regain his balance.
Yeah.
After getting shoved. That's why I see that too. If you look at the defender as well, that's why I said it could have been a foul because he's pushing on him. He has his hand and he's pushing on him. The striker is pushing on Femi. There's the whole aspect of it is it's not enough for me to see a straight red.
What Nemo here, Notorious Nemo, is saying, that's my whole argument for VAR, right? I mean he ended up kind of sticking to his story in a way, but yeah, if it's so obvious, why wasn't like the call?
Well, and another
quick,
thing, and it sucks that of course they're not gonna put it on here. MLS is smart enough to know not to fucking throw it on the highlights.
He's mad.
But where I was, whenever we were looking at it during the game, they showed a bunch of replays, and again, I don't see it. I don't see it as a deliberate handball that he meant to hit it. And I understand. Joey, I get it. If he touches his hand, I understand. But come on, man. Like it's just a soft call. I think you have to take everything into account. Sometimes they slow this replays to like a, I don't know, like super millisecond type of thing. When just, did he get kicked? It's like, dude, like show me a full speed, of this, because it's not the same. But where I was going with this is that the replays that they kept, whenever finally he decides to go to VAR, he spends 10 minutes looking at it. But the replays that they're showing are the weirdest freaking angles. Like they show, like they're looking at one that is like, I don't know, for freaking on top of Shell Energy Stadium, like the camera angle.
Oh yeah, they were checking that to see if it was in the box.
Yeah, and then another one, they were behind the goal and they're zooming in, and it just the angles that were, and that's I think that's the biggest pet peeve.
And to be clear as well, when it comes to VAR, it has to be clear and obvious to change the call. There's nothing. You clearly see the handball. That's the call he made on the field. How could you overturn that? What precedent could you use to overturn that call with VAR? There's nothing.
Let me throw my 2 cents in. So yeah, even if he did touch it with the ball, I think it was a soft call, and just because the ball doesn't leave like that space. So the only way the ball kind of like flies away is when it hits his leg and then it rolls out.
Yeah.
If it was like in my opinion, if he would have hit it with his hand, and him hitting it with his hand would have changed the course of the ball, then yes, I would give it a yellow.
Well, I mean, it did.
I mean, not a yellow.
It did change the course.
No, because it landed like it.
Yeah,
it was
bounced
still,
off his arm.
Yeah, but it stayed in that area. If that makes any sense.
There's nothing in the rules that says that.
But I mean, if it's gonna hit the hand of anybody, it's always gonna change the direction of anything. It all because like if any handball in the box is not a penalty.
Yeah.
Like
to me, like
anywhere on the field.
If your hands are in a natural position, his arms are not in a natural position.
But they are because he's falling. He's looking at the ball. He's getting shoved. He's trying to regain his balance and his hands.
He's not getting shoved. He's getting bodied because he's a weak sack of shit.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. Just because yes, there's definitely. I mean, we can go into the play itself. I mean, he could have done better in many aspects of that play. Femi could have put himself in a better situation. And I talked to Chris about this too, but during the match. But at the end of the day, like that's not enough to be like that's a straight red to me. I'm not. If we're gonna say this a handball, fine, we'll go with it was a handball, right? For whatever it is. But I think you have to take a lot into consideration because they do that in other plays. Everything is left to interpretation. And it was much different if he was actually, his hand looked like it was definitely trying to get that ball. But because you're looking at how the ball is coming, both of the guys are trying to hit this ball. He gets bodied, and he's trying to regain his balance. So his movement with his eyes closed hit the ball. To me, is not enough to give him a straight red. It just makes no sense.
Let me ask a question. What does deliberate mean? Deliberate means it means that he did it on purpose, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was the answer that we got back from the ref. I know it doesn't make any difference, right? If it was on purpose or not on purpose, if it changes the course of the ball or it kind of blocks the attempt to attack in a way, that is a foul, right? It's not, you can't do that. But why would they say it was deliberate when it wasn't deliberate? You know what I mean? Those are the things that like the MLS and the ref association, whatever they're called, they're gonna have to go back on that because it wasn't deliberate. It's not like he meant to go hit it with his hand. His hand came up. That's fine, and I see it, but it's not like he did it on purpose. Because
and
deliberate means that he meant to punch.
We could talk about that all you want. It doesn't matter.
No, I know it doesn't.
But it does matter in other plays.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't in any play. Intent is not in the rules of the game in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter. We had a same red card last year where someone got sent off for accidentally kicking someone. It was like, oh, he didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. But it was a red card anyway. I think it was Bossy, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's a lot of left to interpretation, and
no, there's no interpretation there.
Yes, there is.
To the referee, yes.
Joey, yes, there is. There's something that is like that's a handball, and it's not given.
Here's the rules. Put it on the screen. There you go.
You can read it, but yeah, it's just my point is that again, it's all left to interpretation. The angle is bad from the referee calling it. Okay, they go to VAR. Yeah. That's fine. The VAR, they take 10 minutes to look at it because they're questioning it as well, whether it's inside or outside of the penalty box. I understand that. It's in a handball. It's not an egregious thing. To me, it's like if you're looking at the action of the play, it's never a deliberate handball. There's no intent. Okay,
that's my thing. Yeah,
if you want to say deliberate. It's a handball, give him a yellow card. That's fine. But for him to get a straight red. But that's my point. If you want to give him a card, it'd be okay. It's a yellow card. Not how is it a red?
If it was against my team, I would be bad. If it was a yellow, just because it was a handball.
Yeah, but how could you say it's a yellow though? What makes it a yellow card?
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. To me, I'm saying is a red. To me, is a red. To me, the red is fine.
If there's a foul on the field at that section, you can't call it a yellow.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that. It's either a red or no foul, period. Like it's either we play on or is a red card as it happened. Sure. But that to Rudy's point, which I agree on, it does go into the interpretation of the ref. Because VAR could push him to say one thing, but then at the end of the day, the referee makes a decision. He was 20 yards out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? He was 20 yards out with the player blocking his view. I don't know how he saw it.
Well, we were there. We heard like all the commotion happening in the and man, it was just intense. I mean, all kinds of yelling and people just losing their crap. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what it left it as. I think the big point, especially something that Ben mentioned in the press conference was, the referee made the call and he had to stick to his guns at that point because he didn't want that. And that's really what I saw as well, because again, I understand the point that you guys are trying to make, but to me it just doesn't warrant it.
Yes, and that is the correct idea.
And
yes, absolutely, and that's what I was saying.
And Ben Olsen said it. Ben Olsen said it that not only he didn't agree with the call, but he also agrees with the fact that Femi didn't do a good job defending that ball.
No,
correct.
So
correct.
I know.
And that's what I was saying. Like, there's a lot of things that Femi could have done better, for sure, and not put himself in that situation, because then you go from the high of scoring your first goal in MLS to getting your first red card all in the same game. So
10 minutes apart.
From hero to zero, man. Check that out. It's fast. It goes that fast. But I mean, we've talked about this. We've talked about the inexperience of Femi, and again, it's the handball itself. It's not necessarily the issue. It's everything that led to it, of him not really checking with that. The attacker was at, maybe being faster or just shielding the ball, or
like Joey said, just putting a little bit more weight.
Yeah,
because I mean, that's just what it was at the end of the day. Even if he went shoulder to shoulder, he got beat. If he did get pushed, well, he got pushed. But I don't think he got pushed. I think it was just the body to body, and he got bodied, and then the player just got to it first.
He is a little thin. We need to take him out.
I mean, it's a 50-50 challenge he's going for.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean,
there's definitely no foul from Musovski. That would be a very soft call if you call that a foul from Musovski. And they're both pushing on each other with his.
And that's why the handball is a soft call in my opinion too.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's soft. It's still. But they're going 50-50.
The ball doesn't leave.
I feel like if it's gonna be that soft, it should call that foul then.
Yeah, exactly.
For the striker.
Exactly. If we're gonna call soft fouls, and call all the soft fouls.
I agree.
But there's a lot more gray area in that than a handball. A handball's a handball. You can't say it's not a handball.
No, but there is some gray area in handballs too.
There's not, though.
Yes.
Interpretation directly from the rules.
Joey,
there's immediately to the ball is touched their arm, hand, even if accidental.
But it's black and white. Like it's always given. It's not always given. That's the
because there's bad referees.
Exactly.
And there's also
the ref makes
referees
the right call,
other way.
You're mad at them.
No, I'm just telling you that it's all left to interpretation, and that's
it's like the same call we saw against PSG and Arsenal the other week. Where the player did a slide to block the ball, and he put his arm on the ground to do the slide, and it hit his arm. And they called a penalty. It's 100% a penalty.
To me, that's not a penalty because he's using that as leverage to hold on.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in other other games.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
Where the guy is holding onto the floor and the ball hits his arm, and they don't call it a penalty because that arm is acting like an arm to kind of keep himself up.
Yeah, or
you can't just expect the guy not to hold himself. You know what I mean?
Whether it be a natural movement, and again, I go back to it. You see the camera angle that y'all posted showed it in the sense of like he's looking at the ball. They both missed the header on that ball.
Matter.
But that's my point, that it's all left to interpretation because at the end of the day, he's trying to
it's like a pass interference call.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the rest of the sad highlights here. Not even a minute into the second half, they burn my boy Daniel Steres.
Got burnt.
And Rusnak puts it away.
That's a beautiful cross by the lawyer. Whoever crossed it. Textbook.
That's a good shot.
That was so
really
close.
good. That was a really good pass from Brooklyn too. Yeah. Brooklyn had a really good game again.
Yeah, he wasn't awful.
Yeah.
I thought Brooklyn was great.
A weak sauce.
Man, Seattle just freaking good. I mean, dude, that's 2 goals.
Bro, that goal is so easy.
Yeah. Well, same thing with the Rusnak goal, to be honest.
The guy literally grabbed the ball all the way over there and like from the bench.
If you watch that one, that's a bit of a pretty clear miscommunication with Ortiz and Bartlow. I mean,
they're That was so
yes,
cool too.
Edson 100%. Artur has been criminal of that all the way dating back from the first game he played for the Dynamo against Cincinnati in the 2023 opener.
Damn.
Yeah, Arthur's so good.
He is so bad at coming back on those cutbacks.
Yeah, whenever what's called the team is on their 6 or near the box, he never tracks back.
Yeah, he's really bad. But so that play, like, also is like, you could tell that was Ortiz's like first times playing with Bartlow because he didn't pivot to the left and to cover a man. He shifted with Bartlow to the right. Kind of showed their inexperience together as a pairing.
Talking about that, obviously debuts for Pablo Ortiz, debut for Felipe Andrade, and debut for Toyosi.
I love what Ben said about Andrade. He was like, Andrade is a man. That's what we need. We need man.
He is, man. Andrade is good, man.
Yeah, but talking about attitude.
I wonder if they put Escobar at center back if Eric's not okay, then put Andrade back at left back.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Escobar playing center back. I thought he should have played center back in other games.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like I said, I think obviously, as we know, the
hard in the paint, notorious.
Yeah, the Dynamo that red card, man, threw everything off. I think it's sad to see how frustrated Ben Olsen is, and I know I'm sure, and we've talked about this. When do we start as a fan base? I mean, there's already a lot of people asking for him to be out, and obviously, yeah, but in the sense of, you just feel for him. Like every time that you feel that his team is gonna do well, something happens. Something, whether it be in basically own goals or giveaways by his team. This case, a record that changes everything. The team starts not even a minute in, they look like they're still in the locker room, and they get freaking Rusnak basically right there and then not even 8 minutes later. Same exact movement, just on the opposite side of the field, and easy goals, as you say, Chris. I mean, way too easy of goals. So, when you saw that, as soon as that first goal in the 46th minute went in, you're like, game over. That's it.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way they were gonna come back. And sure enough, the third sealed the deal, and that was it. And all the players that have been, showing a lot of fire, a lot of hunger. Like Andre Lingard, he was so gassed. I mean, the guy was just running, basically trying to get the ball. I think we do have the stats on one of this coming slides, but I mean, the possession held by Seattle was just so much greater. Shots very similar, 15-14. Shots on target, 4-4. So it's not like the chances weren't there, but
there's tons of chances.
They just didn't capitalize, and that's been the story of this year for the Dynamo.
Well, the story of my life. Yeah,
I'm glad that Femi suspended for a game. That's also the best part of this whole thing.
Forced Ben to play somebody else.
I mean, he's just been bleeding points at this point in the year, so.
Bleeding points.
I mean, what bleeding points? Three of our last 4 games that I would say we dropped points because of Femi.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad but true. Yeah. No, I mean,
it sucks that Ben just won't play anybody else. I mean,
because there's not really other options.
Yeah, granted. I was gonna say that
he has options now.
It's not that
Barlow has options.
Yeah, it's not that Barlow is doing hot. It's not
Escobar
that
is back next game.
Yeah, but like we said, I would have, Escobar.
Yeah, it's not really an option because if you put Steres there, then something
Pablo
happens to the left
Ortiz
back.
Very good.
It sucks that
Pablo Ortiz is he's just got to get match fit. So once he's ready to go, he's ready to go. I mean, unfortunately, when it comes to a new signing coming in, a center back is kind of the hardest guy to just slot in the lineup like Ortiz. So maybe we'll see some sort of combination of Andrade at left center back.
I'm tired of seeing this whole Benny Ball. Like, how is that his fault? Like the players aren't putting.
They created
the ball.
So many chances. What do you mean?
I can see the argument. I can see how the argument goes both ways. Because the game, right? Benny Ball is about what? Possession, right? Keeping the ball. But possession is not going to give you
but I mean,
they created so many chances in that game, Chris.
Apart from like the LAFC game that they produce like a goose egg on everything, I think overall they tend to produce opportunities, but they can't freaking score.
I mean,
like they're
Chris, they had the same amount of shots at target as Seattle.
That's what. Well, I mean, that was one game, right? But I mean, throughout the whole season, I mean, they just haven't been scoring.
Yeah,
I
mean, they're accurate.
And it's just there, you know.
Now they have another guy who comes in and scores goals. I mean, they just got Lingerud. I mean, he's played 4 games, and 2 of them he only played a half in, and he has 2 goals and 2 assists. So
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But also, you know, we have to be realistic and know that we are 13 games in. You know,
and then in this game,
I hope 13 games in, you know, the not winning 2 and 13 doesn't affect the end. You know, towards the end. But I mean, it probably won't because half of the freaking league goes into the playoffs.
Well, I was gonna just say, just the game here. I mean, you're playing with 10 men against one of the best teams.
Yeah, no, this game, there's not allowed to say or reproach. I don't know if that's the word. Reprobar or whatever the word is in Spanish. Like talk down on this Houston Dynamo team just because of the situation. I think we all can agree that when it was 11v11, the game was very, very parejo. Like it was very even. And the Dynamo could have played a really good game against Seattle. And I mean, they're Seattle too.
For 38 minutes, they played a better game than Seattle. They were outplaying them.
And it could have gone to the Dynamo. I felt that they were going to win this game as the game was kind of progressing and they were kind of getting more comfortable and just the team plays well. Ben Olsen has a good thing.
So there's 4 shots on target. There's a difference just because they had 4 shots on target. It's not the same quality of shots on target. It's not the same chances. I mean, Seattle had almost 2 xG with their 4 shots on target. The Dynamo didn't even have 1 xG.
But you see when you say they create opportunities, that doesn't mean they create good opportunities.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That is true.
In this game, they didn't create the best opportunities.
It could be a double-edged sword because we could look at the numbers and be like, oh yeah, they look at all the shots they had.
And there's also plenty of games this year where they lost games because other teams didn't create great opportunities and still scored because they had a third-choice goalkeeper in.
Yeah, and that's what we discussed so much.
It's a context,
right? Amin Bassi, right? Like the inflation of those numbers. That yes, he's super creative, but nothing's happening. Correct. Yeah. And I mean, also it was weird to see Bassi not really get any playing time. Obviously,
they kind of had to make some sort of substitution.
They did, but also, like I mentioned to you guys, I think if you would have started Bassi in Phoenix, I think the game would have probably been, a 90-minute game.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I agree.
Instead of Lodeiro or the different
companies. Lodeiro's useless.
Lodeiro
just stinks.
It's just been going downhill for him. Poor guy.
Yeah,
he's just a shell of who he was.
And he was good last season. I think he had 11
with Orlando.
Yeah. He was really good in the first half of the season, which is funny because he was really good when Orlando were playing like crap. As soon as Orlando turned it on the second half of the season, he disappeared.
I'm out.
And Ojeda and what the hell's Facundo Torres started really taking over.
Yeah. But that's probably what they got him for, right? Just to kind of get it started in a way. Yeah. I mean, he's more of a depth piece in a way, right?
He was meant to be. He wasn't meant to start every game like he was doing last year with the Orlando. I mean, he started. Hayda was in really bad form to start the season.
Did he play? You probably know more. Did he play in Orlando kind of similar to what he's position wise, more to what he's playing?
He played more of a central 10 with Orlando.
Yeah, because I feel like that also makes a difference.
Here.
Yeah, when he
he played wide a lot in Seattle though.
Field being shifted, it does tend to be a different view and freaking life in a way. But it's weird that he just dropped off so bad. I don't know. It's weird.
This is a really statistically incorrect statement because Ponce actually outscores his expected goals. He has He has now for the third season in a row from his last year in Greece, his first season with the Dynamo, and so far this season he's outscored his XG.
Hey,
so that's just incorrect.
He just needs the ball to get to him, and unfortunately, it doesn't get to him.
He's in the lower percentile in the league of non-penalty XG per game because he doesn't. A lot of the chances don't fall to him.
Yeah.
But again, this is a whole issue we talked about so many times earlier in the season. Right. When you don't have another guy who's able to get into the box and take up defender space, it's hard for your striker to find space to find shots.
Yeah,
and that's where Linger is going to be so much better. And we've already seen it since Linger's been here. I think Ponce has 2 goals in the last 4 games since Linger's here. He had a goal against Phoenix, and he scored in. He's
also
Austin, right? Yeah,
a rebound guy too. Like he's always there to clean up. And, and if you don't have anybody to take shots,
since Linger's been in the lineup, Ponce has played how much? 67 minutes, 57 minutes. And then the 90 and 70 against. So he has 2 goals in a little over 200 minutes.
Yeah. I just want to add, Jeff mentions about what were, thoughts on Ben's comments. Yeah, it was interesting.
He was mad.
He's just salty in the moment.
No, yeah, of course. I mean, there's a lot going into, but
he implied a lot of things.
Yeah, well, maybe his team should stop doing stupid shit against Seattle every time.
He was mad at everybody. He was mad at the referee, obviously, right? At the referee,
but his team wasn't playing well.
And he also was mad at the team at the fact that he felt like they didn't have fight in them. Even being down. So I think that was refreshing in a way because he was like, yeah, we were with 10, but let's fucking give him a fight.
He was pissed off. He was pissed off the way they started the half. That was was an embarrassing first few minutes there.
That's why when somebody asked him about Andrade and he was like, yeah, he's a man. And you're like, oh shit, like who is he talking about? Like
Femi's a little sissy. That's probably what he's talking about.
I don't know if he was talking specifically about Femi.
I think that was implied,
but maybe
possibly.
But I felt like he was talking about multiple guys. That just are not up to the circumstances. I mean, I don't know. I really love Urso, the way that he just fights, and I feel like he's gonna get a yellow card. And like Matias Vera when he played, like almost every play was like 50-50. There could be a yellow, could not be a yellow. And me personally, I like guys like that, right? That are just gonna. I mean, I grew up a Mascherano fan, even though he was a River Plate fan. But it's one of those guys that I just like the way that he just went for every ball, attacked every ball, especially in that position. That's why I'm so critical of the kid, even though he's still a kid, right? But when I see Urso come in and just go all out, and you're like,
Femi's not a kid, man.
No, not Femi. Brooklyn Reigns.
Oh, Brooklyn. Oh, okay.
But yeah, Femi is 24. Like
Femi's older than me.
Yeah, that boy's old.
Hey, I just want to add, the chat is going crazy.
It is going crazy.
And I think it was 2 weeks ago that we talked about naming the chat, and I actually came up with the Bayou Banter. So, yeah, our chat is gonna be. Like, can I write on this?
All right, I want to comment on this one. I mean.
Does that show up? Ooh, there you go.
Oh, we've talked about this question all season. It's not that Ponce is a flop. It's not that Bossy's a flop. It's also not the game plan as well. It's the fact they just didn't have enough firepower, which is why they brought in Linger. That's why they spent $2 million on Linger. That's what he's here for. I mean, since he's been here, the attack has been better. They scored 2 against LA against Austin. They scored 2 against Phoenix with him on the field, and they just scored 1 against Seattle. I mean, it's better than what it was. I mean, the LAFC game was a little bit of a one-off where LAFC played an absolutely top-notch defensive game. I mean, I don't think any team would have came out with points against LAFC with the way they played at home in that game.
The only thing to add there, I don't think Ponce is a bust by any means.
Ponce's not a bust at all.
No, wait, let me finish here. Yeah. I was going to give him his flowers. I'm going to say that he is a good player. I mean, yes, they spent $8 million on him. And I mean,
10.
from what $10 million on him. And for what he's done, he does a good job. He does a good job when it comes to the press. He does a good job to finish when he's in front of goal with a decent opportunity. I mean, he creates his own chances as well. I mean, he's a little stiff, but he's a striker. He's not, a regate guy. He's not going to be somebody who's going to go and try to beat you by dribbling skills.
Holder plays excellent too.
And the way that they brought in Linger, as you mentioned, it's the spark that it was really needed. So they don't have that many games under their belt, but you hope that they get it together soon because, yeah, the season is long. There's still 20-something games left, 20-something left. Yeah. Anyway, so my chat. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, like these players are doing well, but I mean the frustration is that even with Aliu, right? How many chances where he is in front of goal, 6 inches away, and he can't put the goal? And that thing that's been the story for a lot of what we've seen from Houston in general, especially the last 3 years under Ben Olsen, right? I mean, in the past we were so used to seeing Manotas and at least putting everything in the back of the net, just throwing Kyoto there too. But there's something. I don't know if it's just the willingness to just give it your all when it comes to hitting the ball, like actually, what do they say? Like drive through. I have no clue, man. I feel sometimes it's a little soft on the finishing aspect of it, but what can we do?
Also, somebody said bench Ponce. Who do you throw in? Gabe Siegel?
Aliu's gone. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what. So, then that begs this question. So, what are the new guys, right? Toyosi, is he going to be a striker? I mean, he did play. I guess when he came in, they kind of did a 2-striker system in a way, But is he going to be more out wide? Is he going to be just the men for Ponce? I don't know. It's
probably to give a different look.
Yeah,
very different from
I agree with what Brendan said. The chemistry just seems off, man.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is. You're not wrong at all. And to answer the question, I think Linger is enough. I mean, it's kind of
is a pay for sure.
It's kind of too early to tell if Linger's enough. He's played less than 4 games in minutes wise, and he's played in 4 games, but minutes wise, he's only played like 2.5.
But it has to be refreshing too that they're building so much. Like they're opening a lot of stuff, right, salary wise. So obviously we learned that Andre Lingard can be buy down, and then you could bring another 2 DP.
Well, some of these moves are also very are also with next season in mind too. I think Toyosi's a little bit with next season in mind. I mean, Dwayne Holmes was more of a signing for down the stretch because I knew he was going to be injured. So I know every move has been to win right now. I mean, Linger was also a little bit within mind of the future because they bought a guy who's young enough so he could grow with the team. Linger's 25, 26?
Yeah.
And he could be bought down too potentially. So I mean, if say Linger's not enough, they have the flexibility now to buy him down, bring in another U22, bring in another DP. So they
got it right with Linger, man. That's one thing to say. Yeah,
is Linger enough to reignite this attack to make the playoffs? I have no idea, but we should see.
Yeah. Well, let's move into the next match coming up. We're about an hour in, so might as well get with talking on this match against Minnesota United.
Give me 30 seconds.
All right.
Because it was a 20-year anniversary or 20-season anniversary or something 20. And that was the last time the Dynamo won. It's going to be, right, 20 years and the last time the Dynamo won the championship?
No, 19. They won it 2 years in a row.
Wait, what? 19?
They won in 2007.
Okay, so what's that? Almost 20 years. Well, 19, 20 years. Let's just say that.
But
it's going to be 2 decades of the team not winning a championship. That's long. I know, granted, there's a gazillion other teams that are also there to win. But that's a long time for not winning a championship.
Ask FC Dallas when they won their last.
This is also the thing people have to remember as well when it comes to MLS versus some other leagues. There's so many teams. There's 30 teams at this point. It's like the NFL. It's like
that's difficult.
A team winning the Super Bowl twice in 20 years is fucking impressive. That's thought of as a very good thing because there's 32 teams.
Rudy, you say it's difficult. I would like to push back on that because I don't think it is that difficult.
Difficult to what? Win a championship?
Yeah.
It is difficult.
What are you talking about?
Listen, hold on.
All right.
Because in the MLS, all you have to do is get into the playoffs, right? And then is a small tournament. Obviously, you have to win those. But that's the thing. If you make it to the playoffs, then you can kind of breathe. And then that's when the actual tournament starts. Difficult is to win a season.
Not easy.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that it's not difficult. Because difficult is winning a 38 game season where you have to be consistent 38 games in a row. Not, I don't know how many, because right now we have.
I actually think it's more difficult to win a playoffs than over a whole season.
Me personally, I don't think so because it's a short tournament.
You're in a short tournament. You're playing 5, 6, 7 super high pressure, make one mistake, you're out games. In a league calendar season, I mean, you could drop a few games, you could lose a few games and still win a championship.
Yeah, but you can do that here too during the season.
But during the playoffs,
the Dynamo have won 2 out of 30, or how many games? 13? And we're still not worried, or some of us, I am worried, but some of us are worried that it doesn't matter because we can still make the playoffs. And then the playoffs, that's a whole new tournament. So like I said, I'm not saying it's not difficult because winning a championship is difficult, period. Being the champion of whatever is difficult.
Once you get in the playoffs,
but it's not hard. It's not that hard.
It's different when you get in the playoffs.
It's pretty hard. I mean, that's why there's many teams have been in the league for almost 30 years now.
Ask if Lionel Messi, has he won one yet?
Yeah. How many does Messi have? I mean, seriously, it's not. Miami fell asleep for like 3 moments.
But look how easy it was for him to win a Leagues Cup real quick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they're playing Mexican frauds.
Ask him how many U.S. Open Cups.
If there's gonna be an excuse for everything, then you could do the same.
No.
The beer can throwers.
I think it's difficult no matter what.
You're gonna get shot.
All right. So I guess just to finish off, since we're a little bit over an hour, they'll be playing on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Show Energy Stadium. I expect a very low crowd in the stands, but you can catch that game on Apple TV. Talking about Inter Miami, Minnesota just crushed them 4-1 this past weekend. They beat Louisville City from the U.S. Open Cup, and they destroyed Austin in Austin 3-0. That was the one that I found that hilarious video that I sent to Chris.
Super good video.
Yeah, who are they? We are Austin.
We are Austin. Yeah.
We're Austin TV. They have some their fan reaction stuff. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah,
they're very good.
The last starting 11 for them. I mean, they put up a game. Where's Lod? Yes. He's from Finland.
Yeah, he's Finnish.
White European.
He's not even having the best season this year, but I guess it doesn't really matter because they're more of a. I mean, they're kind of like the Dynamo the last 2 years. They win with their defense and as a collective. I mean, they have some really hardworking midfielders in there. Harvey and Markanich, Trapp. I mean, these guys are balling this year. They're not playing super pretty soccer, but they're just grinding out games.
They got
Pereira's been really good too.
Yeah, I was gonna say they got Luane. They have him as a win back now, so maybe could have worked out for Ibrahim Aliou.
Could have. And Kelvin Yeboah's not even starting games right now, and he's a really good forward. They also just got Julian Gressel into the mix, so we know what he could do.
Doesn't Minnesota have like a really young coach, or is that?
Yeah, Eric Ramsey.
Yeah. He's like
former United guy.
30s.
Yeah.
Manchester United.
Wasn't he also being rumored of going into the championship?
Yep.
Team over there.
He's probably gonna get poached at the end of the MLS season.
Damn.
Yeah, I love it.
Good coach team.
And then apart from the starting lineup,
I wonder if Ben is going to go to the championship.
Femi won't be there. I guess Johnson would be your starter. Dorsey. What were we thinking? We're thinking that Pablo Ortiz gets a start next to Nestor Escobar.
That's what I think.
Or do you think Barlow?
I think it probably ends up being next to Barlow, because I think Ben just wants to have Escobar there on the left, just because we know what Escobar could do supporting the attack. It's very important, and it's very important the way they play the transition game. So I think we'll probably see Dorsey, Bartlow, Ortiz, and Escobar. Maybe there's a chance if Ortiz isn't ready yet, maybe they put Andrade in at left center back.
That's what I was thinking too.
I was gonna say, you think there'll be more rotation than expected, being that it's like a short,
Could be. I don't know. I mean, they can't really afford to sit some of these guys. I mean, like Artur. I mean, maybe you could sit Artur to
Urso
for Ursa, but why would you do that? I mean, it's a tough midfielder playing against. I mean, McGlynn has to play. You can't not play Jack McGlynn. He's just.
Brendan, I used to love the 7-1-3 nights, but I guess those are far gone. But at least, like you said, you get half price beer, whatever that may be.
This is true, though.
I am sad that I went to the game and I did not get a bobblehead, so I'm very, very sad. So.
Did you get a selfie with Eddie Robinson?
No, actually, the only they had the guys, the former players around the stadium in different corners, and they had Brad Davis, Corey Ash, and Bonia Garcia like right where we go into the media booth. So I just went and said hello to Boney, and that was pretty much it. I didn't want to ask for a picture or nothing, but
love that guy.
But our boy Diego Martinez, he got a couple pictures of whenever I went.
Boney's smile, I saw him.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, there's a lot of games. Or divination predictions for this game. Again, we do have the FC Dallas match. I would love to talk more about it, but there's a game in between. We really can't spend too much time. But Chris, or Joey, let's start with you, man. What's your prediction for this match against Minnesota United? Pain, more screaming,
actually
kicking and screaming.
Yes,
I love.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be one of those weird ones where the Dynamo are just gonna win. Well, it's gonna be 2-1. That's why I'm 2-1 win. It's a game they should lose, so they're gonna win it.
Right? Use that reverse psychology.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
Minnesota's due a loss too. They're probably not going to win 4 in a row. That'd be pretty wild.
I'm gonna go with 2-1 as well. 2-1 Dynamo. I think they need to win somehow, even if they have to kick somebody in the face to do it, type of thing. You get a couple red cards. It is what it is.
I say 2-0 Minnesota, and there is two or less big scoring chances for the Dynamo.
Ooh, low XG.
And what do you consider a high scoring chance? Like a 0.5 XG higher?
You lost me in math.
Sure.
If FootMob says that big scoring chances 2 or less, I'll go with that.
Okay.
0.5 sounds fine.
Because you know how they have it, they count those.
All right. And
we'll put that.
And then just to finish, again, we mentioned FC Dallas this weekend. Usually is a road trip for me, but I'm not going to be able to make it out. I put on here chance for redemption since obviously Dallas started off this fantastic 2025 season for the Houston Dynamo by beating on them. I don't know. Just thoughts on this one, just overall.
You're right,
no need for predictions, but Christian, you're a big rivalry derby person. Yeah. Are you excited for this or not?
I'm not. I'm not.
Are you honestly,
Chris? No, I can't. I'm not. I'm going to Dallas the week after that, so I can't go. Back. I can't go back to back. I'm going for a baby shower. So, and then also
have the baby early.
If I go to Austin, I can't go to Dallas. I can't just. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have that type of money for gas. But if the team wants to take me, I'll go. But I'm just saying. Or we can get a sponsor for gas money. Buc-ee's, if you're down.
Bro, if we could get Buc-ee's as a sponsor, bro,
that'd be epic.
You made it.
I stop at Buc-ee's at least twice a week, maybe, because there's one like
Buc-ee's much
on my way.
Because there's none here, and I don't really ever go.
I don't
really go east ever. We go if I travel, I go west. There's no Buc-ee's there.
That's true. I always go to Buc-ee's. Like there's a small one in Alvin that I. That's
I'm going to like Amarillo or like
an Amarillo
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's some in Albuquerque, and not Albuquerque, in New Mexico, like East New Mexico.
I know there's one in
town,
Denver.
like Tucumcari and stuff.
Going into Denver is one too.
Is there one going into Denver? Probably.
Yeah, because when I went to Colorado, it like said 300 miles or some shit. But
probably
it was like
probably
past Colorado Springs.
Past Colorado. What's that shitty ass city?
I don't know.
Pueblo
against everybody.
Yeah. That place is scary.
I thought he was going to say Houston.
I think isn't Pueblo before before?
No, yeah, it's before
Colorado Springs.
Before Colorado Springs. Yeah, that place was
there was
more scary than St. Louis.
There's a place going up there that there was like a mass killing. I know we're off topic.
Oh, I'm sure. That's not off topic. That's important shit.
Yeah,
history.
Think about how awful Colorado is. Actually, Colorado.
D2
Colorado
News
Springs is gorgeous.
Nice.
You should be. I guess probably it's gonna be a Tuesday thing. It's like just reminded you to do it. I guess, Chris.
Yes,
but
sure did.
They did get a win on
Friday.
penalty kicks this weekend, and I'm trying to remember who it was as I'm looking it up.
I think it was a 0-0.
It was Colorado too. Yeah, it was 0-0, and they went to penalties.
Talking about Colorado?
And yeah, Colorado too, exactly. And then they'll be playing Dallas actually on the 18th. So Sunday, they'll be playing North Texas SC over there. Yeah, it's gonna be a back-to-back Texas derbies for Houston and Houston Dynamo too. So yeah, I mean, honestly, that's as much as we're gonna talk here. Bucky's in the chat. Yep, what is it? The Bayou Banter, bro. Get it right. Get it right, Notorious Nemo. Get it right. You know who we missed today? I did not see him on here. Jay Hurtado. Hope you're doing all right, brother. People that tend to jump on here often, but guys, anything else that we missed? I know again, there's a lot of soccer. A little overwhelming. If the team could just win. That'd be nice. It'd be nice. We don't have to hear people screaming all the time. And
bro, that was bad. Let me tell people what happened. So we were all in the press box. I think this is part of the news that we have to give to people. We were in the press box, and then there's a door where the players come in and out for the press conference. And at one point, we were all chit-chatting and talking, waiting for Ben. And over here, rah, 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 like muffled, but we know for sure it's Ben, right? Because you know it's Ben. So we were like, damn, like he's going in on somebody. Sometimes whenever like the players win and stuff like that, they'll like celebrate and they have music and stuff like that. So you can kind of hear that because we're like next door to the dressing room or locker room. So we were like, damn, Ben is like letting the players have it or somebody. And then it seems like it was the referee because the referee have a little like office in the same hallway. So yeah, I think he was going at the referee. Obviously, he was all yelling, and then 5 seconds passed, and then he walks in the room, and we were like, "Oh shit!" He sat down on the chair.
No. That wasn't it because it got quiet, and then it got louder on the other side. Like he went to the players and started screaming at them too. And
then he comes in right after that. He sits down, looks directly at Diego, and he's like, "You ready?" We were like, "Oh shit!" We saw a little poop come out of Diego's butt. Yeah, boy got scared
a lot
because he was like on the first row. Also, Pat Onstad walked in there. If you guys haven't heard the whole thing, it's on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. But yeah, he went in on the referee. He even said, "I expect an apology this week from the referee or the association, whatever." But yeah, no, it was very funny. It was very scary, but I think he managed to like calm down and talk say some good answers. But yeah, he was very mad.
Yeah, he definitely let it all out before he joined us.
And I think I told Rudy, but I think he also threw a little left hook like under the table kick type thing to Pat that was in the room because he did mention like it's kind of hard to win with it when you don't have a good team like put together. And I know Pat was looking, he looked kind of in that direction in a way. And I know Pat felt it in his hole that was kind of for him. So
yeah, and Jeff talked about Pat's gonna be on Soccer Matters tomorrow. So
yeah, call in and talk shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Interesting stuff, man. But man, it's been a fun show. We didn't go as look at this. We were an hour in just talking before we got into the stuff. Only 15 minutes later, we knocked everything out, guys. So, thank you guys for joining us. Always fun having everybody on the chat on the Bayou banter. There you go. I'm gonna keep saying it until it clicks. But Chris, tell people how they can connect with us, bro.
Bayou City Soccer, BayouCitySoccer.net, guys, is the website for everything and anything Houston related in soccer. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be talking to Dustin, aka El Jefe. He was talking about doing some other work that you guys might find it interesting, also related to soccer in Houston. So stay tuned to that. We won't say anything till it happens, but it should be fun stuff over there. And check us out on Instagram, Facebook, X, Blue Sky, and our YouTube channel. Of course, if you're watching, you're here, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we go live. And if not, just leave us a review on the podcast, wherever you watch or listening, Apple or Google or whatever it may be. BayouCitySoccer.net.
And I was gonna say, I'm trying to for the Bayou banter to click as hard as they try to do it at the stadium. That HOU,
bro, that's embarrassing.
HOU. Anyways, but no, thanks again for joining us, Joey, Chris. Good job on today's episode, man. You guys get a solid 10. So don't forget to hold it down and keep it forever orange. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace. Let's see. Boo.